Well, hi there. It's the 3rd of May, 2019. We're doing Journal 37. Hard to believe for me, anyway. Um, and it's T plus 31, transplant plus 31 days. Uh, it's been an interesting. It's been an interesting day. Um, it's been an interesting day. And if it looks odd to you that I'm bundled up like this, probably coming to you live from Antarctica, it's only because I get cold really easily. And once I'm cold and I start to shake, it's really hard to get warm again. Um, so I try not to get cold in the first place, which sounds a lot easier than it is. It's a function of blood chemistry and the transplant and everything else that we're going through. Um, and I still feel lucky. And over the past 2 days, I've been running back and forth to the bathroom because we still have problems with my lower intestinal tract. Um, that's attributable to the chemo and the mucus damage to the mucus lining of the that whole gastrointestinal tract from one end to the other. Um, and I still feel lucky. Um, my home care nurse didn't come when he was supposed to this morning and had to reschedule for later in the afternoon, which isn't a big deal. But I still feel pretty lucky. And I just got off a support chat call uh, with a company that'll remain forever nameless, and people probably either in Mumbai or the Philippines. Not that I have a problem with that at all. I just have a problem with people staffing an operation that either don't understand our language idiomatically or don't have the knowledge they need to answer what I would consider a basic question. Um, if you had that experience, you know how difficult that can be. It's maddening, actually. Um, so much so that I'll probably be looking for another vendor when we get home. And yet, you know what the next line is going to be, right? I still feel lucky. And I'll tell you why, among other reasons. First of all, I'm here. Second of all, uh, I'm a chimera. My donor's cells have taken over the responsibility of creating new hemoglobin platelets, white blood cells, and my DNA is no longer my DNA, which is all presents all kind. Well, what happens if you get in touch with 23andMe? I mean, I'm going to find out I have family in Israel. I suppose I don't know. Maybe you can't do it. Maybe we'll just confuse the hell out of them. But I still feel lucky, and the reason that I feel lucky is obviously because we're looking at the green side of the grass, and that's a good thing. And I feel privileged to have this conversation with so many of you. Um, but more than that, it is the sincere and overwhelming, profound sense of purpose that you get when you receive a message from somebody who's been watching the blog and is a transplant patient at the City of Hope, who I share my doctor with, who made it through the program to the point where she will now be scheduled for conditioning beginning on May 22nd. You go, Rose. You're going to crush it. And she actually is involved in the same she was talking to my doctor during her visit and was offered the opportunity to participate in the same clinical trial I did for the drug ruxolitinib or Jakafi, to see how it interacts with your body in helping to prevent graft versus host disease, which is a terrible, 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 terrible transplant problem, or it can be. And when she was talking to the doctor about that, it turned out that she mentioned that she'd been watching the blog, and she mentioned my name, and the doctor said that, obviously I was a patient of his, and that the reason that she could participate in the trial, because they only accept one person at a time, was because my experience with the trial was over. And she said some very, very touching things in her message to me, that I sincerely hope I can live up to, in most respects, because it's serious stuff. I mean, this whole issue of transplantation and the chemo and what it does to you, or what it can do to you, both physically and psychologically, emotionally, are significant. And she told me how much this blog had impacted her, and how I was acting as her guide through this process. That's an awful lot to process yourself. I mean, that's an awful lot to have rattle around in your head, especially when you take into consideration the fact that it really, in many respects, was not what I planned on doing, not what I intended to do. But it's irresistible in a way, and I don't mean, for any kind of self-aggrandizement or anything like that. It's just this profound responsibility that you accept when you realize that that what you're doing, in sharing things so deep and so personal, you're making a difference in other people's lives. And I carry around a little piece of paper in my wallet that has my personal mission statement on it, which really talks about enhancing and enriching the lives of others through sharing knowledge and experience. My knowledge and experience. I guess it's not private anymore, is it? But I've actually put it, I've actually written about it before, so I guess it's not. In any case, and one of the ways that I deal with it is quite frankly, is by recognizing the fact that this is just an extension. This blog, this video blog, is just an extension of that. It's an extension of everything that I've done from the moment I started speaking or writing around the country. And that is trying to enhance and enrich the lives of others by helping them avoid the mistakes and the pitfalls and the problems that I've managed to collect and amass, and done a really good job of it. In any case, I think that's something to think about, because I think that most of the people that are watching this blog are people of influence. And I think we're all people of influence, but I think that many of the people that are watching this are people of influence. They have other people who look to them for guidance in their lives. They watch what you do. They listen to what you say. They care about how you feel. And that's something to think about. I think it's a pretty significant responsibility, and I think that it's a privilege to be able to act in that capacity. And I think it's nothing to be taken lightly. It's something that's very serious. And I've got a real hunch that most of you take it seriously. That's just another reason I feel like I'm really lucky. Until tomorrow, stay well, take care. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.